All right, so let's kind of like I want to break down one song, not even one song. I want to break down one verse. Not even break it down. I just want to give Jay his props. Um, Jay's the GOAT. Shout out to Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne killed on the record also. You know what I'm saying? I think Rick Ross killed too, but I just feel like maybe they didn't get the memo that Jay was going to be on it.
I feel like, all right, I do not remember a word from Ross's verse.
You don't remember like in the middle he said, God did?
Yeah, I remember that. Wayne, I feel like, Wayne was trying to talk his shit or whatever.
Yeah. Wayne was snapping. I like Wayne verse.
And like this is the first time I feel like Jay totally walked on. Like he body nigga, but he walked on that shit. Like on What's Free, like I remember Royce's verse and it was a good song. Everybody pulled their weight. I just can't say that because I genuinely just don't remember the niggas' verses like that. You know what I mean? Now, of course, Jay had the best verse, but I'm hearing a lot of talk that this was Jay's best verse. And
before you get to that, all right. So the talk comes from like Jay Engineer Guru.
And Khalid said that too.
And Khalid, because he's a genius marketer. You know what I'm saying? Like them saying that this is Jay-Z's best verse ever. And I honestly think like that shit was like, I think it was a marketing ploy to get people to tap into the album. Yeah, you can go on and say what you were going to say about the verse.
Yeah, I think.
About it being his best verse.
All right, so he slid for 4 minutes, right? Something,
yeah,
whatever,
it
something
might have
like
been
that.
5.
And the first time I heard it, I probably winded it back like 5 times because I couldn't grasp it. It was too much. In this day and age, I'm not even someone who has a really short attention span, but that was entirely too much for me. So, and it was like no breaks. Nigga didn't even stop to take no breath and shit. So it was too much for me. Even though like as it played more and more, I'm like, okay, Jay, you talking, but I don't hear the best verse ever. And then, I had to, a lot of times I dissect lyrics better when I look at the lyrics. So when I read them. And even then, I'm like, nah, this is not the best. So I'm standing on that. It's not his best verse. Yeah, of course, he's Jay. Of course, it's a good fucking verse. But I feel like consecutively for the last few years, Jay has been giving us crazy verses.
All right, I got a question. Do you think if Lil Wayne would have had the same length, the same time, if he'd had got the memo like, look, Jay gonna go on this bitch for 5 minutes, do you think like his verse would have ended up being better than Jay? Because I feel like Wayne, I mean, in the amount of time his verse was, he was killing.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's the thing too. Like we can't really compare it because the nigga slid for all that time. And I think that, I mean, we all know Wayne can go like in his prime. I don't know because since he did come out with an album a couple years ago, but that whole album, like, I mean, he did have some good verses, but it wasn't as good as.
I'm gonna go on record and say that this is the best Lil Wayne verse I've heard in years.
Okay.
Years.
You listened to his last
I listened
album,
to it,
right?
yeah. Well, the one with Rich the Kid, he was going on that. He was going on it. Like he was snapping, but like a lot of times to me, it sounded like Wayne is like rambling. You know what I'm saying? It's like that shit be dope. Like he be putting that shit together, but it sounded like he rambling. On this, it was like it seemed like he consciously knew what he was saying. Like he wanted to make a statement on the record. He wanted to,
like I'm not nigga and y'all niggas is followers.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
it
he
was
said.
clear. Yeah,
yes.
It was really clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I think Jay. I mean, yeah, I think that Wayne, he had something to. He had a statement to make, and it definitely was heard. Though I could not like give you a line from his verse, like. if I heard it, I could probably rap it. You know what I mean? Right now I can't say anything, but I remember him talking about being the greatest and people following him and having like, you know, like, you my son, nigga.
Yeah,
I remember that being the sentiment.
Yeah, he was snapping.
But Jay was very, I don't know. Like, why do you think it was that good of a verse to you?
All right. My opinion on this verse, I see a lot of people like, no, this is not Jay greatest verse ever. No, I don't believe it's Jay greatest verse ever. I think this is a top 15 Jay-Z verse. And that's saying a lot. You know, Jay be snapping on records from Reasonable Doubt until, you know, his latest project. So, like, to put this verse in top 15 says a lot. I think it didn't sound like a regular Jay-Z verse. It sounded like it wasn't technically a good verse. Like, technically meaning like his flow. Jay-Z usually have a flow, like, you know, he have a flow with him. This was more like it sounded like a freestyle style, like a stream of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? He was just going and going and going and going. But as he was going, I think with it not being a real technical verse and him not doing pauses and setting people up for punchlines, I think a lot of it was missed. Yeah, a lot of the material was just missed. Like the one line where he said, "I got it out the mud. They gotta face you. I can't make up this shit." You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I got it out the mud, facial. I can't make up this shit. Double and triple entendres. I feel like Jay-Z do that with all his records. And every time you go back, you're going to hear something new. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it spoke to me because I'm from that era. Simple lines is like, I made it out the dope game with a clean record. That's nuts to me. You know what I'm saying? Being somebody that ran it up to the amounts of money that he made in the streets and never being locked up. I think simple lines like that to a nigga like me is like crazy. Like, it's kind of like mind blowing because it's so much honesty in it. Yeah,
and I think that's what it is. It was really, really simple. So when we talk about a Jay, like a best verse, I'm thinking of complexity. And I think that even though he may have had all of those little subtle things in there and whatever, it still was simple. Like even the mud facial makeup, like that's still not top tier Jay-Z. Talk to me. I don't think so.
I don't think it's top tier technically, like technical rhyming, but I think this verse was something that nobody else in the world can spit, and I think that's what makes it special. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else in the world can say the things that he said on this record and be able to be fact checked. You know what I'm saying? Be able to be like, he popping shit, and he brought it from the beginning to the end. Like, he kind of wrapped up his whole life in a 5-minute verse, and I think that's the specialness of this verse. I think if you to give anybody a Jay-Z verse that never heard Jay-Z before to explain who Jay-Z is, this is the verse that they need to listen to, and that's why I rank it so high.
Okay, I feel like he's always talked about like making it out. Like it's just like, I don't know. It just really wasn't great. Listen, because I don't want to ever degrade it. Jay is my man's. Like, I rank Reasonable Doubt my #1 album. So it's not like I'm shitting on Jay or anything. It's just that, like, that's what I think of top Jay, and this is just like,
no, that's 100% like understandable. You know, it's all just a matter of opinion. Yeah. So I can't shit on people that's saying that. I mean, if you saying this is his best verse ever, it's hard to agree. It's hard to like not agree with. It's hard to disagree with that because, I mean, like I said, if is a person that never heard Jay-Z before, I think this is the verse you should let them hear. You know what I'm saying?
I think if you snap for that long, it's kind of like, it's understandable because you snapping for that long and you talking shit. And he's an amazing shit talker. Like, he talks so filthy too. And it's just like, oh shit. Like, he would make you feel away. If I were a rapper or like somebody from his past, like, I would feel offended in every one of his verses.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And it's he left. I feel like he left Wayne and Ross
in the dust.
And it's just like, this man is 52 years old. You know what I'm saying? This is a 52-year-old man. So it's what he did was just amazing. Let's applaud the homie. Super, super amazing verse.